Episode 3 of Dark Matter is all about whining and dining while keeping your best friend from going to Pound Town on your fake wife.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Settle in because there are some interesting wrinkles, reveals, and theories we've hobbled together after this third episode. Get in the box and close the door. I said close the door! Focusing on Jason 1, he is in quite a pickle, having just witnessed his wife in another universe be shot right in front of him and now bound in a holding cell back at the Velocity Labs facility. Obviously, it's been a rough couple of days, but Jason 1 kinda comes to the conclusion that he needs to play ball with Layton and the others to figure out exactly what the heck is going on. Through these little interrogation scenes, we learn Jason 1 has been back for roughly 3 days now, and there were a total of 4 Velocity employees that went missing. The first was a woman by the name of Blair Kaplan, of which we don't really know too much of in this universe 2, but in Universe 1, she is Daniela's good lawyer friend, who we first saw in Episode 1 and is later at the dinner party Jason 2 hosts. Very interesting how, all of this is connected, man. While the other 2 missing employees are unknown at this time, we can only assume that they disappeared into the box device searching for both Blair and Jason. Jason urges Layton to help him remember what the heck he was developing, why the secret facility, and about 23 other questions, which leads to Layton showing him the box, of which he and Velocity had been working on. In the first 2 episodes, we saw glimpses of this device, but now getting up close and personal, Jason and our theories were correct, as this box is basically a scaled-up version of the quantum mechanics theory of superposition and Schrodinger's cat. Sure, Layton gives a mush-mouth barrage of buzzwords describing it.
See, underneath that alloy is a layer of active adaptive shielding. It's full of smart materials that generate fields, cancel out whatever radiation or sound tries to make it inside, and gives off a robust magnetic field in exchange for that trick.
What? But it's basically a box within a box. For all you geometry and Marvel nerds, it's a tesseract. Earlier in the holding facility, there's a painting of this same shape with various colors that definitely hints at the ending of this episode and where we can assume episode 4 and beyond will go. The question is, how the heck does this box work? Sure, we know it's superposition, you shove something in the box and voila, science, I guess. Okay, well, Layton kinda sorta explains it, but it won't work because of the observer's effect. The simplest definition of this is the disturbance of an observed system by the act of observation, meaning that the old box theoretically will not work solely because a person is observing it. Example, I'm looking at this particle and it's just a particle, but when I look away, it'll turn into a sexy woman dance. You get what I'm saying, right? So this is where Ryan and the mysterious purple vial from episode 1 comes into play. Well, we learn from Amanda that this drug Ryan created is called Lavender Fairy, something that no doubt exists at your local smoke shop. But later on, Ryan fills in Jason about what the drug kinda sorta does, because in reality, Jason 2 never gave Ryan the full picture of what he was supposed to be creating. Anyway, this Lavender Fairy is supposed to essentially turn off the user's brain, changing the chemistry of their prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain that's executive functions our decision-making and stress controllability. This drug would essentially turn this part of the user's brain off, therefore eliminating the observer's effect problem mentioned earlier, and all the superposition of a human to no longer be solely theoretical. This was the same drug Jason 2 used on Jason 1, and is what was stored in the little case that Jason 2 said was possibility in episode 1, because here we see a similar case with the contents inside being the vials that they have to inject. Interestingly enough, the lavender color represents silence, serenity, and calmness, of which this is exactly what the drug is doing to the user's brain chemistry, calming it. This is how the box works, and at the end of this episode, we as viewers witness what's on the other side. I want to go back a little bit and talk about Layton because this dude has a lot on his plate. But there's something sinister behind his motivations. Whatever the purpose of the box, he is desperate for any and all information from Jason 1, like how the heck does this thing work? He goes off on a random rant about technology, curing illnesses, stopping all of the atrocities of our world, so I see Leighton kind of having this god complex regarding the box, where I could see him using it to essentially create a utopia, this desired world that I think he's working for, but in doing so would have to ravage other universes for their resources. Heck, it would be interesting to see Amanda and Jason 1 venture into some of these other universes. Anyway, the biggest Leighton red flag involving his motivations with this box is the fact that he tells the detective that he was raised by his grandfather because both of his parents died when he was young. Getting his parents back is what I'm saying is his main motivation for this. Sure, the whole utopia idea, it's kind of okay, but I think Leighton is a selfish person, and I could see him wanting this. As for the detective I mentioned earlier, this is Detective Mason, who is investigating Velocity Labs and their 4 missing employees, picking up the case after her predecessor. This was a subtle, little offhanded comment that maybe has more meaning to it, like, was this predecessor in cahoots with Velocity? I don't know, but between the pair, we learned that Blair Kaplan was the first to disappear 18 months ago, followed by Jason at 14-ish months ago. I'm assuming Mason will be a thorn in Leighton's side, as now Jason 1 and Amanda are missing.
What happened here? Yeah, we're all trying to find the guy who did this.
Completely switching universes, let's talk about Jason 2, who is rolling in the family life, wine, dinner parties, essentially the good life. However, from Jason's mannerisms, there's still a lot that's bothering him and potentially things we as viewers don't know. Clearly, he is paranoid about Jason 1 coming back, with him viewing the security cam footage at dinner, but also I sensed that he's going to have a much harder time blending in because he is spending money as though he has money. I guess this is me assuming that Jason 2 is richer than Jason 1. Anyway, Daniela definitely picks this up at dinner and kind of asks why he's been so different the past few days. I think Daniela is on to Jason 2. She's a sly minx, so it wouldn't surprise me if she figures it out before Jason 2 comes clean. However, through his good boy behavior and conversation with Ryan, it's all but confirmed that Jason 2 did this universe switcheroo for lost love, a second chance, something that I mentioned last week that probably resonates with everyone at least once in their life. Later, Jason 2 is brushing up on studying his family, diving deeper into Jason 1's life and belongings, discovering a lockbox with Charlie's birth certificate in it. Jason 2 longingly admires the life he could have, well, I guess he has that life now, discovering another birth certificate behind Charlie's, informing us that he was a twin. It reads Maximilian with the same listed birthday as Charlie, so we can only assume that there was either birth-related complications or there was an accident with Max earlier in life. This is an added wrinkle to the show, and I assume for Jason 2's plan. I'm curious if for those 18 months he was missing, he was looking for, quote, the perfect world where he had a happy wife and children, a family, and now this what-if scenario that he stumbled upon is going to drive him to find a different universe where Max and Charlie both lived. I can inversely see this working the other way, where Jason 1, now exploring the multiverse, is going to stumble into a universe where maybe just Max survived, or maybe both Max and Charlie survived. The final scene shows Jason 1 and Amanda doing all of the correct steps to activate the box, and we now know kind of sorta how it works. Lock the box, take the drug, wake up in 3 minutes, and then an endless hallway of Scooby-Doo-esque mystery doors are waiting for the pair to explore. I'm assuming behind each and every door is going to be a different universe, so the two will have to explore them like Monsters, Inc. style until they find the universe Jason 1 is missing from. This is teeing things up to get real wacky and hopefully show us a multiverse of madness where Jason and Amanda stumble into a universe where Jason was hit by that taxi cab in episode 1, one where Jason was shot instead of Daniela, one where his 2 boys are alive, one where only maybe Max is alive, and then maybe one where Leighton's parents survived, along with multiple others. I hope the show goes this way. Let me know in the comments what universes do you think they will travel to, and so forth. I'm curious. I doubt that the show will get like super sci-fi and have lizard people in one universe, but I think it would be a funny ongoing gag to have the henchwoman, Dawn, lose her fingers in every single universe, like a funny reoccurring gag, like the bellhop in Hot Tub Time Machine losing his arm. Theory-wise, I'm curious if part of the plan is to find a new Daniela to replace the, quote, missing one from Universe 2. A bit counterproductive, but them being all together and having this universe flow like everything was okay is a solution I'm sure Layton is eager for. Aside from that, the video of Jason and his family on game night potentially foreshadows something down the road. They're all playing Clue, and Jason makes a guess that the killer is Miss Scarlet in the study with the knife. This could be teasing Amanda, who is never without her red scarlet jacket, to be a killer in the future, specifically with a knife in a study. I doubt it will be her killing Jason 1, but rather Jason 2 for creating this whole mess. I know it's a massive stretch, but
hey, it could happen.
Honestly, I am loving Dark Matter so far. I'm a little slut for good mind-bending science fiction, and so far the concepts at play are easy enough to fully grasp, while being kind of difficult. But it is structured well enough with the Nintendo Switch sound effects letting you know what universe we're in. Solid performances, great set design and camera work, the musical score is working overtime, and enough mystery breadcrumbs to keep us moving forward. So what did you think of Dark Matter Episode 3? What sort of theories do you have and predictions on where things are going in Episode 4? Drop everything in the comments below. And thank you everyone who watched, liked, commented, everything, because it really helps me and the channel. I'm doing this and about 23 other projects and videos and stuff, so any support is beyond appreciated. Okay, that's the script. The script is done. Bye-bye.